Hi everyone and welcome to the Active Sprout. My name is Mario Gordon and in this video we're going to talk about 14 blogging mistakes you must avoid when starting out. If you pay attention to these and avoid them completely, you will double your chances or triple your chances of success against your competition. Alright, so try your best to avoid these as they will kill your progress. Alright, so let's get into mistake number one. The first mistake is not focusing on one niche. Alright, don't try to appeal to everyone. If you do that, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's impossible for you to target everyone and please everyone. It's not going to happen. Alright, what you should do is pick a sub niche of a broad niche and dominate it. If you've watched my courses on the YouTube channel that I've recently created, one of the videos actually give you a framework on how to narrow down into a broad niche and dominate that particular niche. All right, and when you start growing and getting traffic, you can slowly scale into other niches. Right, that's how you should approach it. Don't try to target a broad topic and try to appeal to everyone in that topic. It's not going to work. All right, and you don't have the manpower to actually create that much content and to actually get traffic to those posts. All right, so the more specific the niche, the better it is for you. Now, the second mistake that a lot of beginners actually make is actually sacrificing quality for quantity. In this day and age, if you want to stand out from the competition, you have to provide in-depth, actionable content for them. People know when you're actually putting out good content. If you're just writing a general 500-word article and hoping that it will do well, it's not going to work. Quality instead of quantity. Instead, what you should do is actually create deeper content that covers more keywords within that topic. So if you're going to create a post that says how to lose weight in 4 weeks, you're going to cover as much and go deep within that topic. Talk about nutrition, the workouts, the workout frequency, everything that is involved in actually losing weight. You should cover that. And you should get a post that ranges from anywhere between 2,500 to even 3,000 or 4,000 words. Try to go as deep as possible and give them every single information about that, question they're asking. That's how you will reach high in the search engines. For some reason, persons think that posting every single day will guarantee an increase in traffic. No, this isn't 2007 or 2008. We're actually in 2018 going to 2019. What is winning in the search engines right now is deep content. All right, that's what Google wants. They want you to answer the question as deep as possible for the user. So when the user click on your website from the Google search, they don't have to click back because you've answered every single thing about that topic. That's how you should approach it. All right. So instead of pumping out 10 articles a week, focus on creating 2 or 3 high quality posts that will satisfy the user and satisfy Google. All right. Readers are getting extremely smarter. All right. And they know when you're writing trash. All right, we know when we're reading trash. You know when you're reading trash. All right, you can tell when the person put a lot of effort into the content, and you can feel it from the words that you're writing. How they have created a logical step in their guides so that you can accomplish a certain task. That's how you should approach it, guys. Don't try to pump out as much content as possible. It's not going to work. You have to apply a smarter strategy. Don't try to work harder, work smart. For mistake number 3 is writing about stuff that doesn't matter to the reader. There's a simple rule you should follow with this. And if you follow this simple rule, you will satisfy your users and give them content that is related to solving their problem. If it doesn't benefit the reader, don't write it. All right? For example, if you're going to create a nutrition blog and how to get in shape and lose weight, your readers will expect you to create content around nutrition. They don't want to hear about your latest investment in Bitcoin. They don't care. Talking about random stuff will only confuse and annoy your audience. I'm sure you've seen those blogs where you don't know exactly what their goal is, all right? Because they're writing about every single topic under the sun. If your user cannot figure out what the goal of your blog is, you have failed. The blog should have a core goal. If your blog is to talk about nutrition, it should be about nutrition. I'm not saying you can't add some flair of personality into it, but don't overdo it. It should be a good ratio of, personality, what's going on in your life, and, the core content. All right, keep your topics closely related and don't branch out too far. So the point is, write about stuff that the user will care about. Follow that rule and you will always have good content ideas, to write about. There's always tons of ideas you can find. All right. And if you don't know what to write about, ask your users. Send them a survey. Ask them what new post you should write. They will give you tons of different content ideas, more than you can handle. So follow that rule and you won't make this mistake. Now for mistake number 4, that is having a unsustainable posting schedule. Don't make promises you can't fulfill. All right? You will disappoint your readers. Instead, pick a realistic posting schedule and stick with it. If it's going to be 1 or 2 times per week, you should only pick one that you know that you can live up to. All right? Don't promise your users that you're going to post every single day, and when they go to your blog, they don't see any fresh content. Don't do that. You will lose credibility and they won't become a lifelong fan of your blog. All right? Your audience needs some form of predictability. So if you're going to post every Sunday or every Saturday, let your users know that, hey, I'm going to post every Monday or every Wednesday, and you can look out for my new posts. Come check it out. That's how you create some form of predictability. All right, mistake number 5 is writing like it's a school essay. We all know how boring school essays are. And if you want to quickly put your readers to sleep or have a high bounce rate, meaning persons go to your blog and just click out immediately, this is how you should do it. Because this is the fastest way to get users from your blog or get them to click away from your blog. If you write conversationally, like you're talking to a close friend, you will do much better. You shouldn't write boring. Don't bore your users with too many big words or any type of phrases that causes them to think too hard. Try your best not to bore your readers with too many facts. It will overload their brain and cause them to just click out. That is how the readers are right now. If you need to state some facts or get a citation from some studies, just put your personality into it. All right, add your flair to it. This is where you should add your personality. All right. Remember earlier we were talking about striking the line between personality and your content. This is where one of the aspects where it's needed. All right. So don't bore them with too many facts. Just try to add your little flair to it, and you'll get more engagement from your readers like that. All right. And try to avoid big words. Keep it simple. Again, if persons have to think too hard about what you're saying, or if their brain have to try to decipher a certain term, it's just going to overload their brain. Use simple words, simple phrases that get the message across. Big words is not going to impress your readers. It's just going to annoy them. All right, keep it simple. Mistake number 6 is using a free blogging platform. Using a free blogging platform, persons won't take you seriously. Your first impression lasts. Using a free blogging platform just says, hey, don't take me seriously. I'm just doing this now and then. Don't take me very seriously. That's what you're saying to the readers. All right. If you give that impression, they won't take your content seriously. They won't take whatever you're promoting seriously. Nothing about you they won't take us seriously. In fact, they won't remember you because you didn't make a lasting impression. Don't do that. All right. Instead, get a self-hosted blog on WordPress. And in future, I'm going to create videos on that, how you should create your own blog on something that you have control over. If you put your blog on blogger.com, Google can remove that anytime because Blogger is owned by Google. All right. You don't own your content if you have it on their platform. All right. So you want to have something that you have control over. Remember, you're building a real business. Again, if you're building a real business, it's going to cost you some money. It's not going to cost you a fortune because you can start a blog cheaply right now. But don't go in there with the mindset that, hey, I'm not going to spend any dime. If that's your mindset, you're not going to be successful. That's just the truth. Make sure that you get a self-hosted blog that you have control over. You can modify the designs anytime or the way you want it. Because if you have it on a different platform like blogger.com, you don't have much control over the design. Right, and that is very important because you need to put some, certain things like, opt-in box or ads or whichever type of plugin you need to add into your site to maximize revenue. All right, so don't make that mistake. Mistake number 7 is having a dark background. Now, unless your blog is about vampires or goths or any type of dark niche, that's a different thing. But generally, your blog shouldn't have a dark aesthetic, meaning it should be easy to read. The whole aesthetic and look of your blog can push away your readers. Certain colors give off certain type of vibes to your reader. All right, and having an extremely dark background with light text will just make it stressful on their eyes to read, especially the older persons. Even young persons will struggle reading those type of, blog design. So keep your blog design simple. Don't try to overdo it with design and colors or anything like that. Just have 2 color schemes. I would suggest that you have a white background and choose either a light color, whether it's light blue or green, whichever color scheme that you think will appeal to your audience. That's what you should go with. Don't go too dark. Keep it very clean, simple, easy to read, especially on mobile. If it's hard to read on mobile, you're going to have an extremely high bounce rate. Even on desktop, they're going to close out your blog and never visit again. All right, keep your design simple and you won't have an issue. Now, this leads into mistake number 8, which is having too many sidebar clutter. The less clutter, the more white space you have. And the more white space you have, it means that your images and your headlines will stand out more. The main thing you should focus on is your content. That's what will help the user. All right? Don't distract your readers from what really matters, your content. All right? I know blogs that have extremely good designs and they don't get a lot of traffic because the person is so focused on, creating the perfect design, but they don't focus on creating the perfect or increasing the quality of their content. All right? So focus on what matters. Don't include too many clutter into your blog. Mistake number 9 is mostly on the emotional side, and that is thinking readers actually care about you. The truth is, your readers don't actually care about you. The only thing they care about is what you can do for them. The only thing they care about is the content that you're creating. If your content is improving their life, if your content is helping them reach their goals, all right, then after a while they will develop a liking to you, all right, and they will trust you and love you as a blogger, all right. But when you're just starting out, just don't go in there with the mindset that everyone is going to like your content or like you as a blogger, right? If you get that, then you won't be emotionally attached to any type of response that you get from the market, because you're going to get good and bad response. That's just how it is. So don't think that the traffic actually care about you. The only thing that matters to them is what you can do for them. And don't talk too much about your personal life, all right? Only stick to what matters to them. Only stick to the content that will improve their life. All right, just keep a good ratio of personality and the core content. Don't overdo it with your personal life, because remember, persons, they don't care about what you eat this morning. All right, if you're writing a finance blog and how they should save their money, how they should invest, they don't really care about what you have for this morning for breakfast. All right, just keep it simple and stick to the content. Now, when it comes on to jokes and pop culture references, you can use them, but just do not overdo it, all right? If it gets to the point where you're using too much humor into your content, it can come off as a bit cheesy to the reader. So just keep a good ratio, of humor into your content. All right, so mistake number 10, and that is not using headers and white space. There's nothing more repelling than reading a block of text on a blog. It's very hard to read, and it will repel your readers like a bug spray. This isn't 1990, or, well, the internet came about in the mid-90s or late 90s. But this isn't 2000 or year 1999. Your blog should not look like a block of text. All right, it should be easy to read. All right, keep paragraphs 3 to 5 sentences maximum, and keep sentences under 30 words. I'm going to post a video in the near future showing you how you should format your blog posts, and you can also check out my blog and see how I format my blog posts. It gives you a clear idea. All right, it should be very easy to read, especially on mobile. Readability is as important as creating valuable content. It doesn't make any sense that you put so much effort into creating good content and no one reads it because the presentation is crappy. All right, you should put effort into making sure that the readability is easy on the eyes, on mobile and on desktop. Mistake number 11, and that is not using images. When you use images such as charts, infographics, it helps to break up, blocks of words, and it breaks a monotonous pattern when the user is scrolling through your posts. All right, it's easy on the eyes, and using images actually help to bring across your content more. The thing is, you want to make sure that you're using high quality images that are related to the content. Another thing is that make sure that the image sizes are not too large. It will actually slow down the loading speed of your website or your blog. If you want to rank high in the search engines, your website must load very fast. All right. Ideally, it should load under 1 to 2 seconds. I've seen other persons getting in like 0.5 seconds, but realistically, you want to get it between 1 to 3 seconds loading speed. Remember that internet users are getting a lot more impatient. So the longer your website or blog takes to load, it increases the chances of them actually bouncing or clicking away from your blog. So make sure that your images are at they load very fast on your, especially on mobile. Always test it for yourself. When you post something on your blog, go ahead and test it. You can use a website called gtmetrics.com, and you can also use Google's own mobile page tester to give you an idea of how fast it loads. Mistake number 12 is thinking that valuable content is enough. The truth is, it's not enough, and just depending on writing valuable content alone won't move the needle. That's just how it is. If you want your content to do well in the search engines and get a lot of traffic, you have to do some promotion on your side. You can't just write and hope that people will find your posts. It doesn't work like that, especially when there are so many other blogs competing for spaces in the search engine. All right. You must actively promote your best pieces of content. Have some form of game plan behind it. The create and play approach will actually kill your motivation. So let's say you just started your brand new blog and you spent a month creating the best content possible in your niche, and the next month you don't see any traffic because you were just hoping that people would come and find your blog. It doesn't work like that. You have to go out there and promote your blog. And I'll be putting more video content in the future showing you how you should promote your best pieces of content. Mistake number 13, and that is not using any analytics. You have to know how people are finding your blog, whether it's through the Google search, whether it's through Facebook, Pinterest, whatever source most of your traffic is coming from, you want to double down on that traffic source. So if you see that most of your traffic is coming from the Google search, you want to step up your SEO game. All right. Make sure that you're learning as much about SEO, how to, write good content that will actually rank in the search engines. If you realize that most of your content is coming from Pinterest or Facebook, then you have to create native content for that platform. So if it's Pinterest, you have to create native pins that are long and appealing to the eyes. If it's Facebook, you want to make sure that you're creating videos or, posts or images that will get more shares, or whatever type of tactic that works for that platform. That's what you have to adjust to. So where you're getting the traffic, where you're getting most of the traffic from, that's where you should double down. Another thing is that you want to make sure you're tracking the bounce rate. If someone is spending only 10 seconds on your site, then something is really wrong with your content. It's either that you're not providing, you're not answering the question they search for, all right? Or if you're not giving them what you have promised on whichever medium you sent the traffic from. Are people staying on the site and reading the content that you're creating? All right, you have to know how long they're staying. If it's 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And generally, the lower your bounce rate is, the better it is for you. You will rank higher in the search engines. All right, typically you want to aim for a bounce rate of anywhere between, you don't want to go over at least 60% bounce rate or 70%. All right, in the business to consumer blog niche, it's pretty high, sometimes even going up to 80%. But typically you want to be in the 60 to 70 range in terms of 60 to 70% range of bounce rate. All right, so you want to know if people are actually reading your blog. You have to track all of that. And based on that, you can optimize your content and see where they're falling off. The last mistake on this list is not paying attention to your website speed. If your blog is taking over 10 seconds to load, you're going to have a big problem with Google or even your users, they're just going to click away. I mentioned this earlier before we reached to this point. And I have to point out some other things because it's extremely important for your site success. All right, you have to keep your images very small in terms of size, and do not put too many ads on your site. All right, yes, you can use ad to monetize. I use ads to monetize my blog, but I do not overdo it with ads. I don't go over 4 ad units per content. I've seen some blogs going up to 7, but I think that's too much and it slows down the loading speed of your site. The thing is that you want to avoid using too many plugins on your WordPress. You want to narrow down to the plugins that are important, the ones that actually move the needle in terms of revenue on your site. All right, don't get every single fancy plugin that comes out on the market. It's just going to add more weight to your site and slow down the loading speed. And you want to keep the blog design extremely light, super light, no fancy pop-ups or widgets. All right, nothing that doesn't move the revenue needle of your blog. All right, you can use pop-ups to collect emails, yes, but you shouldn't be using like ad pop-ups or anything like that that looks spammy, or anything that distracts the user from your content. Remember, you're in the business of teaching people, giving them content that improves their life and helping them achieve their goal. If they can't read what you're doing, if they can't read your content in peace, they're just going to get annoyed and never check out your blog again. All right, so these are some things you should look out for. All right, so that's the end of this video. I hope you've learned a lot, and I'll be putting more videos out in the near future. So make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates. And remember, every time you see a video from this channel, you can expect to learn something from experience. All right, everything that I teach is something that I have done, and I have made a full-time income from it. So if I can do it, you can do it. All right, so have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.